Yes, we're back indeed, and with a equally different conversation. Like I had said earlier, and remember I told you that we'll be talking matters of personal development, which is very pertinent. If you're told you have to be successful in life, every other time you're told you need to understand what your passion is, you need to understand your purpose in life, all these are under that umbrella of personal development. And while one would argue or think that maybe these are some of the things that happen automatically, you're born and development will just happen automatically, it's not the case. And that's the reason why we have motivational speakers, we have inspirational speakers, we have counselors who've studied the art of living, the art of transitioning from one point of life to another, and they see the essence of one going out there an extra mile, aside from what God did to develop yourself, aside from what your parents, the society, school has done. It's equally very important that as a person, you play a huge role in featuring or in shaping what will be greatness for you later on in the future. And joining us to help us through this discussion and, just help us also, because it's also, it's always a developing process. I would want to assume that, there's no one particular point where you'll say as a person that you're fully developed. No. It's a process. And equally would love to hear and learn from you this particular morning, even as the viewer is eagerly waiting to hear from you. And that is Jane Abukutsa. Thank you so much for your time this beautiful morning. And we're looking forward to a great discussion. And I'd start off by saying, what are the aspects of personal development?
Well, I'm both a motivational speaker and an inspirational speaker, but today I want to talk about inspiring and why I'm an inspirational speaker. I speak I must speak about, I speak to inspire people to start the journey within themselves. Because that journey leads to everything that we human beings are looking for. All human beings are looking for love, peace, happiness, power.
Decent life.
Exactly. But we tend to look for those things outside of ourselves, whereas those things lie within ourselves. And I speak to show people and explain to people how they can start that journey. And the reason why I'm able to inspire is because I'm on that journey myself. The difference between motivating and inspiring is that I can study and read books and then motivate people to do things that I haven't done. But to inspire is about what I have done and learned. And when I speak to motivate, I'm speaking from the head and I connect with the head of the audience. But when I'm inspiring, I'm speaking from my heart. So my heart connects with the heart of the audience and therefore they are touched. And as I said, all human beings are looking for the same thing. We want love, we want peace, we want power, we want purity. And we think that by acquiring material things, we will get those powers, but we don't. You find people who can never have enough money. People who imagine when I get a bigger house, I'll be happy. They get the big house and the happiness is not there. People who imagine if I own my own business, I will be happy. If I have more money, I will be happy. But when they get there, it's not enough, and then they want more. And there's greed involved. We're looking as human beings in the wrong places. All human beings want the same thing. All human beings, regardless of race, color, religion, and all of that, we all want the same things. But those things lie within ourselves. So as a speaker, I use my life and what I've gone through and what I have learned and the method that I have learned to journey inward towards my authentic self. All of us are born with the greatness within us. And greatness can be referred to as a gift which God puts in each of us, or can be referred to as our life's purpose. Now, our journey from birth to death is actually about unwrapping that gift, like peeling an onion. Unwrapping that gift, and once we get to the gift, it is our responsibility to serve the gift to the world. And that is our life's purpose. So my life's purpose actually is to inspire people to start that journey within. And that's why speak.
Okay.
Someone famous once said that the only reason anybody should speak is to uplift the world. And that's why we're here on earth, to uplift each other.
Right.
Yeah?
So
Yes.
how does this greatly connect with, that aspect of making the best of a person? And that should be, of course, in the bracket of personal development. When you are inspired and you understand these are things that people are going through, when you can connect and relate, where does it come in handy towards making the other person a better person?
Human beings either are living or existing.
Yes.
The human beings who pay attention to the experiences they go through, because every experience we go through carries a jewel, carries a lesson, which if we learn makes us better people. Those human beings are the human beings who are living. The other human beings who are not paying attention are just existing and, are thrown this way and that way by whatever they have to face. So it's by paying attention to, it's when I pay attention to my reaction to the dramas that I go through and the relationships that I have, that I then am able to learn the lesson that those experiences teach me. And that's what experiences are supposed to do. They're supposed to teach you, to make you a better person. And it's when I start paying attention to my reaction, not so much what the other people are doing, that my reaction is when I start growing and becoming more authentic and moving towards my greatness, and I'm unwrapping the gift and I'm becoming a better person.
Okay, that better person, of course, either wanting to become that better person or waiting another person, possibly an inspirational speaker, to talk to that person so that he can understand and appreciate, acknowledge the plenty within him. But there are many, or a number of the masses, a domain, who do not understand that, and that again comes to your purpose or primary responsibilities. How do we tap into ourselves the God-given ability, the software within us? And if not, there isn't the capacity, how do you come on board to unwrap that gift to serve the society?
Well, that's why I speak, because it's about how I react to what is happening in my life. If I go to work and my boss tells me off, how do I react to his telling me off? How then do I feel about my boss? But this requires you setting some time for yourself to introspect, to look within, even if it's at the end of the day. Take a little time to invest in yourself by looking back at the event of when you were being told off and how I reacted. What thoughts did I have? How do I feel about this person? Because, even if I was told off, I chose to react the way I reacted. And by seeing that I reacted negatively, I can then, again, looking within to see where that reaction from. Is it something I picked up as a kid? Is it something, is it a reaction that I saw my parents react? Because as adults, it is our parents who teach us how to be by how they reacted to situations. That's where I learned how and picked up how I viewed life and how I reacted to different situations. But it's by looking within, looking at my thoughts, looking at my feelings about what happened.
Yes.
And then forgiving, forgiving myself, forgiving the other person. And when you forgive, you create space inside yourself to imbibe virtues like
More
kindness.
space.
Yes.
Realistically speaking, allow me to cut you short, is that you don't just wake up and overnight. You have gotten to that point where you can confidently and easily forgive someone,
It's a
embrace
process.
happiness
It's a
and say that,
process.
it's a process.
And the creation of space.
And of course, also based on the fact that, we're different personalities. And in as much as maybe we could be facing the same problem, different people, different personalities will address this problem differently based on who and what they are. So before you get to that point, is it then necessary that you first of all try and understand the kind of personality that
you
have,
are,
or that you are.
But
So,
yes,
so at
yes.
least you can get to that point where now you can know that, okay, well, life is not that serious, you know. You can always choose happiness over sadness. You can choose, you know, to react this way
yes.
over reacting that
Well,
way.
you know, my negative reaction to a situation has been going on for quite a while. So for me to heal that negativity will also take a minute.
Right.
And me working on myself and me getting to know, you know, that this is the way I react when this happens. You also get to understand yourself, you know, your desires. Why do I like this and I don't like this, or like this person and I don't like this person? And it's about taking responsibility, you know, for the life that I have created. Many of us tend to blame people for the lives that we live, but we create our own lives. And because we create our own lives, we can change our lives. We can change our attitudes, we can change our feelings. And all this is a healing process. And, and the more we understand ourselves, the deeper we go. We go within ourselves. We're getting closer to our life's purpose. Because my life's purpose, your life's purpose, our life's purpose is what we were born to do.
And then perhaps that deeper sense of, does the deeper understanding of self or yourself further give you the opportunity to introspect and perhaps even find more opportunities within yourself that you are capable of undertaking, instead of later building up a life you blame upon someone.
That's so true. You know, doctors who work with the dying say many people who are dying, older people, really have many regrets about, I wish I had done this and I wish I had done this. But once you start this journey, one of the values that you gain is courage. Courage to step into the unknown and try something new. You know, I'm sure you've heard people talk about the comfort zone and stepping outside the comfort zone. Once you start this journey, you have the courage to always step into the ring, to show up and step into the ring and try and try. And it makes life really interesting. And you find people on this journey never get bored. They don't mind spending time by themselves. They're avid reader, they're constantly thinking, they're always looking at themselves, and they take responsibility for everything that happens to them. They don't...
I still insist also that, yes, again, it's a process. And there's someone who's watching us and asking this question. First of all, they asked, what are some of the hindrances to personal development? And in a way, I think you've answered that by saying that, yeah, sometimes you just need to step out of your comfort zone. Yes, you'll meet a lot of challenges different, but then again, you can always step out of that comfort zone. But that aside, also, he asks, majority of people seem not to understand who, why, or what they are due to upbringing. What is that is something that you mentioned earlier. You know, it's your parents who will teach you who you are, they'll craft your life and all that. So how best can we bring in interventions to such hindrances? Because then you go out there and you're presented to life and it's a whole different affair from the upbringing, a whole different affair from what was there. So if you choose to be rigid with the kind of upbringing that you had, then it becomes a hindrance, it becomes a problem for you to personally develop yourself. So how best can we address this?
First of all of us have... you know, parenting, there's no school that teaches parents how to be parents. So there's no parent who gets it right, 100% right. So all children, all of us have issues based on our upbringing. But as an adult, you can't live your life blaming your parents. You know, I was an overly strict mother. But my daughter has done very well. But now that I'm older, I look back at how I raised her. And now, because I was overly strict, I didn't really enjoy her childhood. But that is done. I cannot undo that. But I know it's had effects on her that are not positive. But it's her responsibility to heal that. All I can do is forgive myself, because at the time of raising her, I thought I was doing a pretty good job. But today I do see the damage.
And you look back at that.
When I look at that, I forgive myself, because at that time I didn't know any better. You know, if I had to do it over again, I would do a better job. So that's the way it is with everybody. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with color, religion, or any of that. And this is for all human beings. Our life's journey from birth to death is to get to know ourselves, take responsibility for our lives, learn from every experience that we encounter. You know, there's the old saying that there's silver lining under
Yes.
every cloud.
cloud,
Some
yeah.
of those sayings are really, really true. So there is a silver lining under every experience.
Yes.
So, you know, anybody can do this.
Right.
Whether you, doesn't matter where you live, where you come from, whether you have money or not, this is a way for you to find what you're looking for.
All right.
This is a way for you to get to know yourself. This is a way for you to travel into your purpose.
Right.
And when you arrive, you know, live your purpose and serve the world, to uplift the world, because we live in a world that is fallen.
All right.
All right. Before well,
come on,
before you
go
get
ahead.
to that you person, you aspect where, of course, it's about you and you fixing it. I think then it all starts from that point where you said it's very important that also we as a society, you know, as a family, as parents, sort of know how to deal with some of these issues, because it's not always that every other child goes out there and figures their way out. So it all starts. And it's all crafted at that level of, or, you know, childhood and all
Yes,
that, so
yes.
that this person can pick it up,
Yes.
you know, and confidently make the best of their personality. So,
Right.
what are some of the mistakes that we do as a society, as a people, and what should we embrace so well so we can be able to bring up a people, or maybe we can craft this particular individual to a point whereby when they pick it up as themselves, it's going to be a smooth ride.
There is no smooth ride because of the
Well,
world we
the road
live
is
in.
always-
Surprisingly,
You know,
smooth ride, yeah. Interesting.
you
yeah.
know, there is no smooth ride, because if you look at the world today, I mean, it's a total mess.
Yeah.
I was listening to you interview the earlier guests, and you're talking about politicians, and you know, politicians are our representatives, so they
They are
mirror
part of us.
us.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know. So unless we change, we'll never get
change.
better quality of politicians. So it's about, but again, it's the time in which we're living in. You know, the good book talks about, you know, the end days.
Yes.
So things are as they are, and we have to find our way. We have to figure our way
Yes.
of being happy, despite all the challenges that are going on in the world. I don't know whether I'm making sense.
Yes, yes, of course, yes. There are many challenges. There are very, very many challenges. Of course, they cut across, and a whole lot of perhaps a chamber or a bank of problems that people across the world do have, but different problems have different solutions for different people. Well, one final thought that I want to seek from you, and well, it's, I just want us to a little bit track back on that, and it appears that then we have two set of audience. One, let's say, and that pins down to the institution of the family here, is about children who are raised in, say, chaotic or, I mean, sort of parents not being in tandem. And then that has the psychological effect on the kids growing up. Well, you might find out that he or she realizes that there's this problem. I'm having this psychological trauma because of the issue down me, but I don't care about that. Let me just pick it up from here, then make my life better. Then there's on the other end, vis-a-vis what I've just mentioned, the person who, again, from that particular development at the homestead level, develops psychological warfare, which in turn, again, completely dents his life or dips him into problems and no point of making up his life. Of the two audiences, how do you instill confidence in them?
You know, I read once, someone said, all of us human beings are traumatized as children, but addicts are definitely traumatized. Again, the healing process is the same. Blame, anger, and all of that will not heal you, because it's about healing yourself, for that addiction to stop. I'm an avid reader. There's a book written by Dr. Groskopf, I believe his name is, and he's a psychologist, and he deals with addicts and people with serious issues, you know, violence in the home and all of that. And he's able to trace all of that to their childhood. But you can't blame the parents because you don't know what kind of childhood the parents had, because we just mirror what is dished out to us. But for that person to heal, he must understand what happened to him as a young child, and then forgive. First of all, forgive himself for having been an addict and everything that he did as an addict. And then forgive the parents, because the parents only did what they knew how to do. But all of us, let no one imagine that they're perfect or their parents were perfect.
Okay.
Parents make mistakes. They do the best that they can, but they make mistakes. But it's our responsibility to heal ourselves and to learn from those mistakes, and then to teach one how to do the same.
Okay, better. Because we all are prone to mistakes. No one has monopoly of knowledge.
Exactly.
And God's power miracle is behind our comprehension.
Right.
I always say that.
Yes, and of course, on that very note of inspiration and great inspirational morning, we must say thank you so much, Madam Jane Abukuta.
Thank you
who's an
for having me.
inspirational speaker and equally a motivational speaker. It was great picking up these great points from you, and we certainly are hoping that we can get to apply some of these things. It's not always where you come from. It's not always what happened yesterday, but certainly what you want the future to be like. And it's all on your very own hands, or in your very own hands, to craft what you want for yourself. The journey to greatness. Indeed, a conversation that we'll have even more, because then again, it is a continuous process. The moment it's a journey, it's continuous. We say thank you so much for your great for your great contribution, of course, to the show, and equally for keeping us company right from the time we started up until now. We say thank you, and also to the previous, of course, panel that we had earlier on. Great insights also. Thank you so much for being with us. It's time that we say goodbye. We see you again tomorrow, same time, same place, as we discuss matters economy. My name is Linda Alela.
And I am Ayub Abdikadir Abdi. And have you been scared by the hospital fees or failing to understand the language of the doctor or the hospitals? Well, that is the punchline of my colleague, Winnie Lubembe, who will be up next in about an hour's time with my doctor. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.
All right.
Good morning.